चेष्टितः स्वदासार्थ कृताशेष साधनः सर्वशक्तिधृक्
भुवि भक्ति प्रचारैक कृते स्वान्वयकृत्पिता स्ववंशे स्थापिता शेष स्वमाहात्म्यः स्मयापहः पतिव्रता पतिः पार लौकिकैहिकदानकृत् निगूढहृदयो नन्या भक्तेषु ज्ञापिताशयः
उपासनादि मार्गाति मुग्धमोहनिवारकः भक्तिमार्गे सर्वमार्ग वैलक्षण्यानुभूतिकृत् पृथक् शरणमार्गोपदेष्टा श्रीकृष्णहार्दवित् प्रतिक्षणनिकुञ्जस्थ लीलारससुपूरितः
तत्कथा क्षिप्तचित्तस्तोद् विस्मृतान्यो व्रजप्रियः प्रियव्रजस्थितिः पुष्टि लीलाकर्तारः प्रियः भक्तेच्छापूरकः सर्वा ज्ञातलीलोतिमोहनः सर्वासक्तो भक्तमात्रा सक्तः पतितः पावनः
स्वयशोगानसंहृष्ट हृदयाम्भोजविष्टरः यशः पीयूषलहरी प्लावितान्यरसः परः लीलामृतरसाद्रार्द्री कृताखिलशरीरभृत् गोवर्धनस्थित्युत्साहः तल्लीला प्रेमपूरितः
यज्ञभोक्ता यज्ञकर्ता चतुर्वर्गविशारदः सत्यप्रतिज्ञस्त्रिगुणातीतो नयविशारदः स्वकीर्तिवर्धनस्तत्त्व सूत्रभाष्यप्रदर्शकः मायावादाख्यतूलाग्निः ब्रह्मवादनिरूपकः
अप्राकृताखिलाकल्प भूषितः सहजस्मितः त्रिलोकीभूषणं भूमि भाग्यं सहजसुन्दरः अशेषभक्तसम्प्रार्थ्य चरणाब्जरजोधनः इत्यानन्दनिधेः प्रोक्तं नाम्नाम् अष्टोत्तरं शतम्
श्रद्धा विशुद्धबुद्धिर्यः पठत्यनुदिनं जनः सतदेकमनः सिद्धि मुक्तां प्राप्नोत्यसंशयः तदप्राप्तौ वृथा मोक्षस्तदाप्तौ तद्गतार्थता अतः सर्वोत्तमं स्तोत्रं जप्यं कृष्णरसार्थिभिः
Jai Shri Krishna, friends and family. Thank you for joining us this morning. Everyone should have the programs in their hand before we begin the ceremonies. A few housekeeping announcements. First, please keep your masks on at all times. Second, turn off your cell phones. And per the request of the family, no pictures or videos will be allowed during this ceremony, so your cooperation is greatly appreciated. We'll start the funeral procession with a puja led by our priest Sharmaji and participated by Harshit and Pratish. At this time, I'd like to call Nisha Bhabi, Kriya Bhabi, and all the grandkids up to the casket, please. At this time, I'd like to request all of Rasik Bhai's siblings, Janti Kaka, Chandan Kaka, Surya Kaka, Tara Foy, please come up to the casket. At the same time, I'd like to call up Gita Foy's brother, Tushar Kaka, and Gita Foy's sister, Paresha Foy, up to the casket. Not dad. Not dad. Not dad. Sit him down. Jai Shri Krishna, family and friends. We've gathered here today in remembrance of my foy, Gita Ben Rasikbhai Patel. At her core, a truly simple woman who set a new standard of what it means to be a pillar of our family. A soul that anyone can lean on in time of grief or joy. A spirit that shared unconditional love with anyone that she came across. Her kind nature was instrumental in building not only a successful family, but also a tremendous community filled with people who became our family. Most in this room remember all the events in the 90s at the Hessian House Motel from Holi to Diwali. She gifted us those memories and relationships and bonds that will last with us for our lifetime. She was the ultimate servant leader who sacrificed countless times to support our community in the time of need, and her husband through an array of medical issues. Foy taught us how to serve irrespective of the variables, with a smile on her face that never faded. She taught us how to support our spouses through this journey we call life and be better partners. She was an inspiration who recently found out about her illness and was given a timeline of existence, which she handled with grace and courage in her time of adversity. She decided that she wanted to face her adversary head on and never once shed a tear, demonstrated weakness, let her character shift, or let that priceless smile fade. She continued to live the rest of her life on her own terms, surrounded by loved ones, making sure everyone ate well and laughed a lot. To the family and community, let's continue her legacy by building our relationships and bonds stronger than ever. Let's use her inspiration to create joyful memories which will provide the younger generations unforgettable moments that they will remember through their lifetime. Last but not least, to her grandkids. She is proof that superheroes do exist. You see, one doesn't need to have the power to fly, have lightning quick speed, or have superhuman strength. Rather, have a kind soul, love unconditionally, lead through service, and face life's challenges with unwavering courage. With that said, I'd like to invite Pratish up next to present his eulogy.
Jai Shri Krishna. Family and friends, thank you for coming here today to celebrate the life of my mom, Gita Ben Rasikbhai Patel. I'm her oldest son, Pratish, and I'm grateful for the friends and family who have been an incredible source of strength in the past few months, and especially this last week. I am also grateful that this room is filled with so many that knew of and cared for my mom. Seeing and feeling the love and support here is humbling. As I was working on what I wanted to share as a eulogy for Mom, I struggled with how to summarize or speak to the intricacies of an entire life. I don't need to tell you how amazing my mom was. If you were lucky enough to know her, you already know. It would take me weeks to tell you all the incredible things she did in her 78 years, but Bunkil told me to keep this short. Admittedly, this is a very challenging and painful time for me. It comes with a hurricane of emotions and processing. Upon reflection, I was reminded of the fact that people are dynamic and their relationship with this world is infinitely complex. In the simplest of terms, what continues to come to mind when I think about my mom is what Bunkil said. She was a superhero, and she had many powers. when I reflect on my childhood and living in multiple cities, from Tavoa, Fiji, to Kingwood, West Virginia, to Edison, New Jersey, before finally settling in Stanton, my mom's presence was always constant. Throughout childhood, we endured many challenges together, but somehow it all worked out. I now know it was due to the power of family that my mom had instilled within all of us. Our family did not stop with just the 4 of us. We lived like we did when we were growing up in Fiji, with up to 20 extended family members under one roof at any given time. We laughed, we cried, we fought, and we hugged. Our togetherness enabled us to navigate the constant change that is life and to conquer its never-ending challenges. The power of family. She taught us the power of love. My mom saw the best in people, even the ones that caused her pain. In fact, she had compassion for their shortcomings and always reached for union. Her answer for everything was love. She gave it so naturally, freely, and delivered it in such a unique and powerful way. Rarely, if ever, did she preach a specific message or compel others to act in a certain manner. Rather, Mom inspired and influenced through her actions. While with her words, she was humble and caring. In her actions, she was bold and powerful. The power of love. Growing up in Fiji, I always watched and accepted the traditional roles Indian men and women played in daily living. Men worked and provided for their family, while women maintained the household and raised the children. In other words, men worked for 8 to 10 hours a day, and then they relaxed and watched TV, while women worked 24/7. Mom taught me that this dynamic is not sustainable or fair, to say the least. She taught me the power of a woman, the role a woman, that a wife, mother, sister, or daughter plays is something that I had not fully appreciated. Sure, I can say I had, and each of us in this room can say we have, but really think about what the women in our lives do, not only for their husbands, children, siblings, colleagues, and friends, and so on, but also for the entire community. Women are the common thread in our lives, and without them, we would not be where we are today. This is evident by the role my own mom played in the success of our family. The power of woman. This leads me to the power of sacrifice. Mom would do anything for anybody. She went the extra mile for people she hardly knew. She'd swim in ocean for her closest friends and family. She was there when you needed her most, even when you didn't know it. I'll never forget the way she took care of Dad through all his health issues, or even my late grandmother, Lalitaba, towards the end of her life. My mom sacrificed the most for Harshit and I, always putting our needs and future before all else. Except to her, it wasn't a sacrifice. The power of sacrifice. In November of 2021, our lives changed drastically upon learning that Mom had suffered a stroke. I was overwhelmed with emotions, as this was the first time in my life that I had to grapple with Mom's mortality. What I didn't realize then was that God was preparing me for what was to come and the next phase of my life, without Mom's physical presence in it. In early March of this year, we learned that Mom was diagnosed with stage 4 terminal angiosarcoma. Her reaction should not have been a surprise to any of us. She accepted the diagnosis with courage, grace, and dignity, recalling that she had lived an amazing, fulfilling, and blessed life without regrets. She was adamant from the beginning that any potential life-extending treatments was not an option she wanted to pursue, and instead she chose to focus on quality of life and the power of time. The last 2.5 months have truly been a blessing. We laughed together, we cried together, and we watched a lot of TV together, from Boston Celtics games to Kamna and Swarangar, every night for 2 months. The Celtics were just as much not her cup of tea as Indian soap operas are not my cup of tea. But it didn't matter. I was focused on doing whatever Mom wanted, whatever made her happy, just as she had always done for me. It didn't matter what we were doing or what we were watching, as long as we had the time together. We make conscious choices of how we use our time, the most scarce resource we each have, the power of time. Despite the ugliness of such a diagnosis, I celebrated these past few months as the most beautifully profound and full of the power of strength. For the first time in my life, my mom allowed us the opportunity to share our strength, just as she has given to her community. Her deliberate inaction of treatment, knowing how painful her remaining days would be, took strength, and I have not known that strength. Her inaction, actively not taking action, is only a result of making a choice. Her choice came from strength, not weakness. My mom didn't lose her fight with cancer. She beat cancer by the way she lived her life. The power of strength. To close, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to each of you, including Blue Ridge Cancer Care and Gentle Shepherd Hospice, for showing us your superhero powers, especially these past few weeks and months. Mom showed me that we all have the power to be a superhero in every moment of every day, to make this fleeting life impactful to others and for the greater good. I'm honored that she's imparted her powers of family, love, sacrifice, time, and strength to me, and really all of us. And I hope to make her as proud as I am to be able to call her my mom. Thank you. I'm gonna call her sheet up to follow me.
Jai Shri Krishna. Less than 3 months ago, we received the unfortunate news about Mom's health. Me and Kriya and our kids, Anjali and Anav, quickly packed our bags and headed to Roanoke to be with my parents. About 30 minutes into the drive, Kriya and I started talking back and forth, and like, should we tell the kids? And it was a tough decision. We weren't sure exactly what to say to them, how to comfort them, but we decided to make that choice and told them anyway. We told them that their Gita Ba had cancer, and at that time, we didn't know how severe it was. Almost immediately, both of them became extremely emotional. As strange as it sounds, their response selfishly gave me a comforting feeling. For our children to be this emotional at the thought of possibly losing their grandmother meant two things in my mind. Number one, Kriya and I had taken the time over the years to ensure both kids spent quality time with their grandparents. And number two, and more importantly, my mom had relished these opportunities and made an impact on their lives during their time together. This seems to have been a common theme with Mom. Since word got out about her health, she had many visitors, a lot of phone calls, and I listened to countless stories of how she impacted their lives in a positive way. After her passing, I continued to receive phone calls and heartfelt texts about how much she meant to them and the subtle ways she went about to help them out and help others out. I'm not generally an emotional person, but these interactions moved me to tears, but not for the reasons you may think. I became emotional not just because of what she did for others, but because of the fact that in all these years, not once did she ever mention what she had done for anyone. She never bragged or boasted. She just did it. Her love, kindness, and support was truly unconditional. She never wanted anything in return. I realize now she was able to be this way because she was truly confident in who she was and steadfast in her determination to not only better the lives of immediate family, but to anyone that needed it. And she would do so tirelessly, without complaint, and at times at the detriment to her own health. Despite any health complications that came in her path, she still never wavered. She knew her priorities and always spoke of a sense of duty. And trust me when I say, no one could match her work ethic. I'm sure in her way, she tried her best to instill these values in me and my brother. But ask our wives, it didn't take. Thankfully, her grandkids are smarter than their fathers, so there's still hope. Perspective is important. It's not lost on me that the last couple of months were truly a gift. I've seen family and close friends not have the luxury of time with their loved ones like we have. Nothing is promised to any of us. So for that, we're grateful to have had an opportunity to let her know how much she meant to us, that Dad would always be taken care of, and that her legacy would live on through us and her 5 grandchildren. We love you, Mom.
Next, I'd like to call up Roshan, Ryan, Anjali, Rishi, and Anaf.
Hello everyone, Jai Shri Krishna. My name is Roshan. I'm Gita Ba's eldest and favorite grandchild. I was lucky enough to have spent 18 years with Ba. 8 of those years, she lived 10 minutes away from us. She was the most precious soul I have encountered in my life. The sacrifices Ba made to care for her 2 sons, 5 grandchildren, Dada through all his health issues, and extended family are infallible to most. All she expected in return for her sacrifices was a smile. I vividly remember the day we had to tell Ba that she had cancer. Everyone was crying except her. She said, "I'm the one that has cancer. I feel perfectly fine today. Why are you crying?" I sat there, tears in my eyes, stunned. She was just told that she doesn't have long to live and soaked in that information like it was nothing. When we asked if she would be open to chemo to treat the cancer, she gave an adamant no. Some people would question this. Why would you not go through treatment in the hope of extending life? My guess, she didn't want to slow down other people's lives to extend hers. That's the ultimate sacrifice in putting other lives above her own. She also put the needs of community above her own. Ba was a lifelong volunteer, knew the importance of giving back to the community and had a passion for helping those less fortunate than ourselves. She never gave with the expectation of being noticed. Helping others was a part of her DNA. She touched countless lives through her love, service, and hospitality. She was the kind of person we all hope to be. Every time a family member or friend walked into her house, her face lit up. Her hospitality was unmatched, from simply making my potato shock every time I came over to the 200-plus person holy parties she hosted in Stanton. She always made everybody feel welcome and comfortable. One of my favorite memories with Ba is of her yelling at me 2 weeks ago at Barakaka's wedding. Before each event, she would FaceTime me to see my outfit, and only me, because I'm her favorite grandchild. I had an exam during the Gerba, so I obviously didn't put on my kurta since I wasn't going. When she FaceTimed me before the Gerba, I obviously didn't put on a kurta. When she FaceTimed me before Gerba and saw I had just a shirt and shorts on, she yelled at me, asking why I wasn't dressed for Gerba. I tried explaining I had an exam, but she was not having it. Told me to FaceTime her later when I was wearing my kurta and hung up on me. I ended up putting on my kurta later just to take a picture and FaceTime her. While I was away at college this year, I called Bandala once a week, if that, until she was diagnosed with cancer. After she was diagnosed, I FaceTimed her every day. I regret not spending even 5 minutes of my day to call her for all those years before she was diagnosed. To anybody that doesn't get to see their grandparents on a regular basis, make it a habit to call them every day. They will appreciate it, and you will miss it when you can't do it anymore. Ba's legacy isn't comprised of running the motel, making good food, or being a homemaker. Her legacy encompassed giving back to the community and family. It's the responsibility of everyone here today to carry on a legacy in which each of us can be proud of looking back at their time on earth. I know Ba was happy, fulfilled, and proud of all that she accomplished for her community, and that commitment to community is what lives on as her legacy. To Ba, thank you for the sacrifices you have made for our family. Thank you for all the unspoken lessons you have taught me. Thank you for all the memories we have made over the past 18 years. I love you. Next is Ryan.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you for coming. My name is Ryan, and I'm Gita's second oldest, and obviously the favorite grandchild. Ba had a big impact on my life and others around her. Ba taught me a lot of things. One of those things was sacrifice. Ba sacrificed a lot for me and for everyone around her. For example, Ba made a huge sacrifice and risk by coming from Fiji to America so that her kids and grandkids can have a brighter future. Ba would always put others before herself. If needed, Ba would always pick me up from school and take me wherever I needed, such as basketball practice in Kumon. An important memory to me was when Ba came to my basketball game, even though she probably didn't know what was going on. She just came to support me. Another recent memory to me was last week on Tuesday. I sat with Ba by her bed and talked to her about how she was feeling and everything that was going on in my life. It's incredible that even when she was nearing the end, she always asked me how I was doing in school and in sports. Ba may be gone, but her impact on others is still being carried every day by countless people. It will always be carried by those people and myself. Ba may not be here physically, but she will always be here in everyone's heart. I love you, Ba. Next to the podium is Anjali.
Jai Shri Krishna. I'm Anjali, Gita's favorite granddaughter. On behalf of myself and my brother Anav, I wanted to say something about our grandmother. I recently learned that the Bhagavad Gita has 3 major themes: knowledge, action, and love. To us, Gita embodied all 3 themes in the way she lived her life every day and embraced her family and friends throughout her years. Anav and I spent a lot of time with Gita as far as back as we can remember. We would always go to Stanton and Roanoke with Mom and Dad because Rasik Dada's health wasn't always in the best of conditions. During those times, Ba always tried her hardest to take care of Dada. She cooked food when he was in the hospital and always made sure Dada felt as comfortable as he could be. Throughout these times, I learned that it is important to sometimes put others before yourself. To us, that is love. Ba also spent a lot of time in the mandirs in Roanoke. When we visited, me and Anav always saw Gita Ba cooking food for everyone, and we noticed that it seemed important to Ba that everyone at the mandir was fed properly. Ba sacrificed a lot to make this food for everyone, and it was very selfless and generous of her to do so. A few months ago, my dad found old home videos filmed using something called a camcorder. Dad digitized them into USB drives for us to watch. Some of the videos were holy get-togethers in the 1990s. Ba and Dada turned the motel into an annual holy get-together with family and friends. These get-togethers seemed to have hundreds of people, which meant a lot of cleaning and a lot of food to prepare. But it meant so much for Ba to host everyone, and she was happy to do it. These last 2 are examples of Ba's action. A memory I have with Ba was the time I did her nails. The most recent one was not too long ago. She and Anna were playing a word game while I painted her nails. We talked about how school was going, and as always, it felt nice to talk to Ba about life. We learned a lot from these talks. To us, Ba was providing us knowledge to help better ourselves. It is hard to believe that our time with her has ended, but it's nice to know that we were able to spend so much time together. We will miss you, but we'll always remember the 3 themes you embodied and hope to follow your lead for the rest of our lives. Love you, Gita Ba. Next is Rishi.
Jai Shri Krishna. My name is Rishi Patel, the real favorite grandchild. Thank you all for coming here. My Ba had an immeasurable impact on many of our lives, including mine. I always saw her with a smile whenever I went to visit her. She always put others before herself. She made a huge sacrifice and gave my family many opportunities by coming from Fiji to America. She made sacrifices by helping to take care of many children, including my dad. Ba was one in a million. I will miss seeing her. I love you, Ba. Thank you.
There's only one thing I have to say. I love you, Ba. Thank you for your bhaktis.
Next, we'll partake in a few of her favorite prayers and bhajans.
स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ओ श्रीनाथ जी आवजो तमे वाट जोई रह्या क्यारे नामे अनेक जन्म थी जीव आथड़े आप शरणनी खबर ना पड़े। ओ श्रीनाथ जी आवजो तमे वाट जोई रह्या क्यारे नामे आप शरण तो रुदिया विषे श्री महाप्रभु जी विना क्या थी दिसिए। चरण शरण तो आपनु खरूं जन्म मरणनु दुख तो गयो। ओ श्रीनाथ जी आवजो तमे वाट जोई रह्या क्यारे नामे दास आपनो जो हसे खरा जन्म मृत्यु ने ते तरी जशे दास भाव थी सवतरी जशे दास आपना जो है खरा। ओ श्रीनाथ जी आवजो तमे वाट जोई रह्या क्यारे नामे दास होय तो कदी न विसरे भय तजीने सर्वदा फरे। दास विठ्ठलेश विनंती वदे ओ श्रीनाथ जी आवजो तमे। ओ श्रीनाथ जी आवजो तमे वाट जोई रह्या क्यारे नामे वाट जोई रह्या क्यारे नामे। यमुनाष्टकम्। नमामि यमुनास्महं सकलसदिदहेतुं मदा मुरारीपदपङ्कज स्पृन्महं रेत्नुकायमं तटस्थनवकानन प्रकटमोदपुष्पाम्बुना सुरासुरसुपूजित स्मूर्तिः श्रेयबिप्रतिं कालिन्द्यगिरिमस्तके पदन्दमन्दपुरोज्ज्वला विलासागमनोल्लस्त प्रकटगण्डोत्सलोतता शब्दोगस्तकति दुतारं समधिरुद्रलोत्मा मुकुन्दरतिवर्दधिं जयति पद्मन्दोत्सुता भुवं भवनपावनीम् अभिगतं नेक्स्तुने प्रियभिर्षसेवितां शुकमयूरहंसदिवि तरङ्गभुजकङ्कण प्रकटमुक्तकावालुका नितन्ततटसुन्दरीं नमत कृष्णतुर्यप्रियाम् अनन्तगुणभूषिते शिवविरञ्चिदेवस्तुते घ्नो नभे सदा ध्रुवपाकशाभिरस्तदे विशुदधु मयूरातटे सकलगोपगोपीवृते कृपाजलधि संश्रिते मम मनःशुङ्खभावय यदा चरणपद्मजा मुरारोपि प्रियं भावुका समागतं ततो भावस्त सकलसिद्धधिया सेवतां तया सत्यसाति यात्मकजा समन्दीवय हरिप्रियकलन्द्या मनसि मे सदा स्थियात्रां नमोऽस्तु यमुने सदा तव चरित्रमृत्युं न जातु यत्नयात्नता भवति ते पयःपानत यमोऽपि भङ्गनीषु सनुता कथां म्यूति दुष्टनापि प्रियो भवति सवेना तव हरेर्ध्यदपोपिका ममस्तु तव सन्निधो न तु नवतग्मेतावता न दुर्लभतमराति मुरारिपो मुकुन्द प्रिये अतोस्तु तव लालना सुरधनी परुं सुङ्गमा तवैव भुवि कीर्तिता न तटु कदपि पृष्ठति स्थिते स्थिता तव करोति कमलजासपन्नति प्रिये हरेदनुसेवया भवति सौख्यमोक्षते यम् इव कथाधिका सकला गोपि सङ्गम स्मर स्मर ध्रुवाभु सकलगहज्योतिसङ्गम तवाष्टकमि मदा पठति सुरसुते सदा समस्तदूतिक्षरो भवति वै मुकुन्दे रति तया सकलसिद्धदयो मुरुपुश्च सन्तुष्टिति स्वभावविजयो भवते वदति वल्लभ श्रीहरे। हे मारा घट माँ बिराजता श्रीनाथ जी यमुना जी महाप्रभु जी हे मारा घट माँ बिराजता श्रीनाथ जी यमुना जी महाप्रभु जी मारू मनडू छे गोकुड़ वन रावण मारू मनडू छे गोकुड़ वन रावण मारा तनना आंगणिया मा तुलसी नावन मारा प्राण जीवन हे मारा घट मा बिराजता श्रीनाथ जी यमुना जी महाप्रभु जी मारातम नांगणे श्री महाप्रभु जी मारातम नांगणे श्री महाप्रभु जी मारी आँखों दिसे रे गिरधारी रे हरि मारी आँखों दिसे रे गिरधारी रे हरि मारू तन मन गायु छे जने वारी रे वारी मारा श्याम मोरारी हे मारा घट माँ बिराजता श्रीनाथ जी यमुना जी महाप्रभु जी मारी अंत समय केरी सुनो रे अर्जी मारी अंत समय केरी सुनो रे अर्जी ले जो श्री जी बावा शरणों माँ दया रे करी ले जो श्री जी बावा शरणों माँ दया रे करी मने तेरा तेयम केरा कदी न आवे मन मारो नाथ तेरा वे हे मारा घट माँ बिराजता श्रीनाथ जी यमुना जी महाप्रभु जी मारू मनडू छे गोकुड़ वन रावण मारू मनडू छे गोकुड़ वन रावण मारा तनना आंगणिया मा तुलसी नावन मारा प्राण जीवन हे मारा घट माँ बिराजता श्रीनाथ जी यमुना जी महाप्रभु जी। हारे वाला अर्जी हमारी सुनो श्रीनाथ जी लई जाजे तारा धाम मां हारे वाला अर्जी हमारी सुनो श्रीनाथ जी लई जाजे तारा धाम मां हारे वाला अंत समयना बेली हारे मारा अंत समयना बेली हारे हवे मेलो नहीं हड़सेली हारे हवे मेलो नहीं हड़सेली हारे हूँ तो आवी उभो तम द्वारे श्रीनाथ जी लई जाजे तारा धाम मां हारे वाला अर्जी हमारी सुनो श्रीनाथ जी लई जाजे तारा धाम मां हारे नाथ करुणा तणाचो सिंधु हारे नाथ करुणा तणाचो सिंधु हारे हूँ तो याचू छू एक ज बिंदु हारे हूँ तो याचू छू एक ज बिंदु हारे एक बिंदु मां थाय नहीं ओछू श्रीनाथ जी लई जाजे ता धाम मां हारे वाला जी हमारी सुनो श्रीनाथ जी लई जाजे तारा धाम हारे मारू अंतर ले जो वाची हारे मारू अंतर ले जो वाची हारे नथी मेहंदी माला लील खाती हारे नथी मेहंदी माला लील खाती हारे पाने पाने हे प्रसरी जाती श्रीनाथ जी लई जाजे तारा धाम मां हारे वाला हरजी हमारी सुनो श्रीनाथ जी लई जाजे धाम मां हारे तने समझू के सू समझावू हारे वाला समझू ने सू समझावू हारे के तो अंतर खोली ने बतावू हारे के तो अंतर खोली ने बतावू हारे तारा भक्तों ने एक ज आश श्रीनाथ जी लई जाजे तारा धाम मां हारे वाला हरजी हमारी सुनो श्रीनाथ जी लई जाजे तारा धाम मां हारे वाला हरजी हमारी सुनो श्रीनाथ जी लई जाजे तारा धाम मां श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी बरनो रघुवर बिमल जस जो दायक फल चारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार सियावर रामचंद्र जी की जय पवन सुत हनुमान जी की जय जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर राम दूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा, कानन कुंडल कुंजित केसा, हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे, शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन, विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया, सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा, भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र जी के काज सवारे, लाय सजीवन लखन जिया, श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए, रघुपति की नीम बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही समबाई, सहस्र बदन तुम रोजस गावे, हस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे, सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिंसा, यम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते, कवि को बिद कहि सके कहाते, उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीना, राम मिलाय राजपद दीना, तुम्हारो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना, जुग सहस्त्र जो जन पर भानु, ली ताहि मधुर फल जानू, प्रभु मुद्रिका मिली मुख माही, जल्दी लांघि गए अचरज नाही, दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते, राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे, सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरणा, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना, आपन तेज समारो आपे, तीनों लोक हाँकते कापे, भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनाम, नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमंत बीरा, संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम बचन ध्यान जो लाव, सब हम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा, और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पाव, चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा, साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे, अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता, राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति जी के दासा, तुम्हारो भजन राम जी को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे, अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई, और देवता चेतन धरई, हनुमंत से सर्व सुख करई, कट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिर हनुमत बलबीरा, जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई, जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटे बंदी महासुख होई, जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा, तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजे नाथ हृदय महडेरा, पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप, राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुर भूप, सियावर रामचंद्र जी की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान जी की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय। बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। हे नाथ जोड़ी हाथ पाए, प्रेम थी सहु मांगिए। शरणु मडे साचू तमारू, ए हृदय थी मांगिए। जे जीव आव्यो आप पासे, चरण मां अपनावजो। परमात्माए आत्मा ने शांति साची आप जो। वड़ी कर्मनो योग करीजे, कूड़ मारे अवतरे। त्या पूर्ण प्रेमे ओ प्रभु जी, आपनी भक्ति करे। लख 84 ना बंधनों ने, लक्ष्मा क्लई कापजो। परमात्माए आत्मा ने शांति साची आपजो। सुख संपत्ति सुविचार ने, सत्कर्मनो दैवारसो। जन्मो जन्म सत्संगथी, किरतार पार उतार जो। आलोक ने परलोक मां, तव प्रेम रग रग व्याप जो। परमात्माए आत्मा ने शांति साची आप जो। मणि मोक्ष के सुख स्वर्गना, आशा पूरे हे दीनथी। दियो देह दुर्लभ मानवीनो, भजन करवा भावथी। साचू बतावी रूप श्री, रण छोड़ हृदय स्थापजो। परमात्माए आत्मा ने शांति साची आपजो। परमात्माए आत्मा ने शांति साची आपजो। परमात्माए आत्मा ने शांति साची आपजो।
Before we proceed with viewing and final respects, quick announcement. There is a luncheon and a reception at the Quality Inn on Third Lane Road after the Agni Sanskar. So if you need directions or anything, please find me or Harshit or Pete, and we'll be happy to kind of guide you guys there. Next, we'll move on to the viewing and final respects. We've got two ushers in the back, Rakesh and Amit. So kindly wait till they kind of signal your aisle so you can come forward and for the viewing and paying your final respects. Shri Krishna
श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम कृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Jai Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम कृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम कृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम जय श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं
At this time, I'd like to request Pratish, Harshit, Devish Bhai, Pranay, Chirag, Chandrakant Bhai, Kunjan, Rakesh, Suryakant Bhai, Purvin, and Tushar Kaka up to the casket. think you hung yourself.
They just, water might think it'll be worse anyway.
It's our speaker anyway.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You got? Now we gotta wash them off. We gotta wash them all, that's how.
This is all trash.
That's all trash, okay, I figured.
There was a wire here,
What?
a wire. Which I think Pratish લઈ લીધો. પેલા નીચે plug થયેલો હોય ને? Yeah, he took it. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. પેલું આપણે અહીંયા ગેધર કરવાનું હોય એ ચોપડીઓ કે whatever. ચોપડીઓ ને
બેગ હતી મારી પર્સ નહીં
Chalo, I guess I'll go over there at Quality to help out. Yeah, એટલે હું તો નીકળવાની બેન. Yeah, કઈ વાંધો નહીં. I'll go there.
Get over here for me.
અહીંયા રાખીને કદાચ કોઈની husband મોટો આવે નહીં હોય પેલી છોકરીની. Soha? Is this yours? I'll just leave it. Dupatta is yours? આ બધું garbage આપણે નાખવું પડશે. આ નહીં લે. એ નહીં લે ના.
I got it up on two of them. I'm gonna toss this